Welcome. It is no accident that you have found your way to the Release the Genie podcast. What would you do with 3 wishes? And what if you discovered that you are in fact that very genie that could grant them? Well, join us now as we discover who our next genie is as we listen in and learn the stories of triumph, inspiration, and passion with some very special guests. And now, without further delay, your host of the Release the Genie podcast, Mr. Paul Rogers.
That's so much better. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're tuning in from. I am your host, Paul Rogers, and welcome to another episode of Release the Genie. And we have some star quality to hear today, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just give you a little backdrop about this gentleman, and I'll bring the name in. He is a leading entrepreneur for Generation Z. He has a brilliant hashtag, which I really suggest you put on your LinkedIn files, Raw Louder. We'll dive into that a bit later. He's a professional networker. His life revolves around baseball, and this guy is he's pretty good actually, because he's already represented Team USA and bagged the silver medal at the Pan American Games. I haven't finished yet. The next part is he's a fantastic musician, and what a killer voice. Seriously, you need to check that out. And if that wasn't enough, an actor, come on. And you must recognize him from Held Back Henry on Walk the Plank. Now you're going to get this for sure. Ike from South Park, Monsters University, and Wreck-It Ralph. Star quality, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Tyler Ganus. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, Paul, you made me blush, man. I'm doing so well. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
To be honest, we kind of set that bar super high now, so we know both of us have to throw ourselves over it. So let me start off with you going first on the jump, which is, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm here in Eugene, Oregon right now. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Very different places. I've been here in Oregon for, a few months now, and it's been incredible. I'm playing baseball here at the University of Oregon. So blessed to be playing Division I baseball. It's sort of the first step of my dream of eventually being drafted professionally. And so, that's definitely the center of my life, but I'm also studying pop music here as well. So I'm continuing my music career, and I'm also studying in the Honors College, which is super exciting to have just a group of people that really think critically, and to be in a community of leaders of this next generation of Generation Z and some millennials. It's really beautiful to have some great conversations during classes, and so that's really the center of my life. Beyond that, I've been really fortunate to pursue, sort of like Paul said in the beginning, like you said in the beginning, a lot of different careers from a very young age. I had a very strong support system from my family, and super grateful for that. And so I've been investing from a really young age. This one company I'm so passionate about is called the Pizza Plant, and you can learn more about that. I can drop a little link. But that's a fantastic little company I'm a part of. And also the thing that I think ties it all together, everything I do, is this online health and wellness company that my family's been involved with for years and years, and it's really cool. I also get to ignite with a lot of other young people my age who are passionate about health and wellness, and really changing, trying to go into different communities and change their overall health. And so that's like a little bit about me, I guess, maybe a lot about me, but I'll leave it at that.
I mean, to be honest, the first thing I was wondering is, you must have more than the average person have hours in the day, because my day is kind of like 24, but I was counting off on my hand there, and I got to a figure where I ran out of hands and toes and stuff. So wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
And really giving back. I know that you're very artistic, and you are a super athlete as well. So to be honest, them coming together is like watching two planets collide, to be honest. So
Thank you. I'm definitely am so passionate. I know I left this out, but philanthropy is a huge part of my life, and I know I'm sure for you, Paul. And I think Make-A-Wish is probably the foundation that's most dear to my heart. And we'll get into this, I think, as we go on. But just wanted to touch on that too. So we definitely align there.
Yeah. We've got a bromance going on, ladies and gentlemen. So,
there you go.
So I wonder if you could tell us about one of your sort of an aha or release the genie moment.
Absolutely. And, this actually goes back to when I was pretty young, and it really informs my entire life. So I think this is super important. When I was 2 years old, I was diagnosed with a life-threatening blood disease where I was living in the hospital for several years. It was, a tough time for my family, obviously, but came out of it 100% perfect health by the grace of God. Very, very grateful. And, it really informed my life of just being so grateful to wake up every day, breathing, smiling. Like that is what I realized from a really young age that life is all about. And it's not the little things you get caught up in. It's really like, you wake up and you open your eyes, and it's a blessing. It's a true blessing. And so that is what I've based my life on, to be honest with you. And my family has also my parents specifically have raised me in many circles of mindfulness and meditation and yoga. And specifically my mom sort of really helped me get into the yoga and mindfulness stuff. And that, combined with this paradigm shift from a young age, I think really informs my entire life. And I think I just grew up a little bit differently than a lot of people my age. So hopefully I can shed some light, and some people will, who are watching this can grab some of that and hopefully, take something from it. So, yeah.
I think you're right, because most people, when they have that awakening moment, they're a lot older in life. And for you to have it so young, and at that point then wake up and know that you have a purpose. And I can see now how all of this sits together. And I think you definitely feel on purpose. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head. That's 100% right. And yeah. I'm just grateful to be alive and pursuing my passions. It's a blessing. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, look, we've got the legwork out of the way now, and anyone who was doubting your age and what you've done through, well, I think you've just ticked that one off the list. So
awesome.
Now I wonder, given where you've been and given how you are now, has there been a inspiring quote or a mantra which you've heard or lived by?
That's a great question. And I think the quote I live by is "Do it with passion or not at all." A lot of people have said it. I'm just going to say it's anonymous, but that also informs my life. I think the thing I'm known sort of by, like my identity and how I'm viewed in every single one of my ventures in life, I think people will say that I just go at it. I really pour my heart into everything. And for me, I think it's just like an intrinsic belief or something, that anything I get involved with, I want to go all in 110%, no matter what. Like I don't half-ass anything, pardon my French.
Full ass or none at all.
There you go. I honestly just feel so passionate about doing things the right way, doing it with your full effort. And that's really what is the quote that I live by for sure.
I mean, I can certainly see that certainly in the athletic circles and the baseball, it really is leave nothing on the table, no points out there on the field. So I love that. I think that completely aligns with what you said before of living on purpose and being aligned. And no, I think that's a really, really good one to take on board. No plan B, just plan A.
That's right. Oh, so good. Yes.
Plan Bs, we'll talk about that later, but plan A, I love it. So I wonder if you could just talk us through a setback or something adversity you've had to overcome.
That's also a great segue, I think. I think I'll focus on a setback in baseball. And I think you guys will understand why it'll be relatable, because I think it can be related to any industry. For me, I've been injured I wouldn't say several times, but there have been times where I was out for a few weeks. There have been times that I was out for a few months, even an instance when I was 12 years old where I was out for a full year. And like anything, I think you can relate it to, an extended period of time where you're fighting an obstacle, right? You're fighting something that's holding you back from doing what you love. For me, sometimes that was watching, some of my friends beat me out, take my spot, right? Or whatever it is, right? It can be really difficult. And so the ways that these sort of setbacks have informed my life, it goes back to what you do when you get knocked down. And for me, it really comes back to meditation. It comes back to mindfulness. It comes back to having trust and truly believing in all the work you put in, that it's going to pay off in the end, and that this is just a short time that you have to power through, right? You have to find certain ways to keep your mind sane. For me, it's deep breathing, it's meditation, it's I am statements, it's manifestation. I'm super into that. It's motivational videos in the morning. It's creating routines for yourself. For me, right now, my routine is I get up at 4 a.m., I go to sleep at 8 p.m., I have my morning workout, I wake up immediately, I say a bunch of I am statements, I have them posted all around my room, and I watch a little motivational video, I get ready to go, and that's like my start. It gets me going, right? And so, sorry, I went off on a tangent a little bit there.
I can feel the energy building, right? My friend. It's like, I feel like I'm having a workout listening to you. It's awesome.
Oh man. But honestly, I think it really comes back to when we're in times, challenging times, it's figuring out for yourself what you can do to keep your mind calm, to get in routines, to get in healthy ways, to really just say, okay, this is just a moment in time. Let's continue to live in the present moment. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not live in the past. Let's think about what we can do right now to get better. And if you take that, focus on the details, just do a little bit of it at a time, get a little bit better every day, it ends up being okay. So that's really, how I sort of go about tackling failures or setbacks or whatever you want to call it.
I think that's wonderful. And as you said, it's got so many applications to so many other things, because as you said, we all get knocked down. There is nobody who doesn't get knocked down. And I think it was Mark Twain who said, being knocked down is not your choice, but staying down is. Mm-hmm. So
that's so good. I love that.
And I think being able to fall back and back yourself, that's, you haven't lost your skills just because you've fallen down. And as frustrating as it feels, you're still you.
That's so good. Oh, I love that. Some great nuggets in there. I hope the people watching are taking some notes. This is, man, the back and forth.
If you're not,
love it.
I am. So.
Yeah, I got it.
So, no, I mean, to be honest, really important. And even if you can't adopt all of what you said, some of that does make a difference. Changing something. That's brilliant advice. And I know that that's going to really resonate with people. At the moment, we're still in the grips of COVID. So it's going to be, and you've seen the silver lining of COVID. I watched, I'm going to just plug you a little bit here. I watched one of your wonderful videos on YouTube about basically the silver lining of COVID. If you can just quickly jump into that for us.
Sure. I mean, obviously it's a difficult year, but it's a difficult year for everyone, and finding, I think it really comes back to self-reflection. I think it's an important concept in any situation you're ever in, and it is so applicable to COVID. It's looking back on 2020, at the end of 2020, I really did this on my own. I was like, okay, this year was good, it was bad, it was 2020, right? But let's figure out, what was good, what was the good. And when we put our energy on that and start focusing on that, it's actually remarkable, like what your mind remembers. Like, oh, wait, this happened. Oh, wait, this also happened, right? For me, it was beautiful to have more time with my family. My goodness, my sister's a few years older than me. We're like this, we're best friends. And she's been at college for a few years. I haven't had a lot of time one-on-one with her to be together with my parents. Like I was going off to college next year, right? So it was it was so beautiful to have that summer where I had literally a couple of months to be all together. We had family dinners. I mean, they were all indoors, right? I wasn't going out, but it's really just it comes down to self-reflection, I think, and really focusing your energy on the good when it can be really difficult sometimes, and finding small wins too. Finding, even if it was a small thing that was great, picking up on that and building off of that. So I would say I'm definitely an optimist, but I think that really helps. So I would recommend doing it.
I think you're right, because it's very quick to get on the machine. So you're doing this, then you're going to college, and this is kind of like saying, whoa, okay, slow down and actually start to appreciate what is actually around and what you have. So I think you've really nailed it there.
Thank you. I hope people can, even if they haven't done it yet, hopefully people can step back and take more good out of their day than bad. I think that'll help in the long run for everyone, realizing there's a lot of growth that happens every day that maybe you're not even aware of for yourself, that it's kind of beautiful when you realize that, like, it can help build confidence. It can really help you stay positive. So yeah.
Love it. Really good. Thank you for sort of diving into that for us. So
of course.
What have you got going on? I mean, this is going to be almost ridiculous, this question. What have you got going on at the moment? Because it's going to be, I'm just going to count off my hand. So go for it.
Oh my goodness. What do I have going on at the moment? Well, season is about to start for Oregon, which is fantastic. So fired up for that in a couple of weeks. We got our first game. School is continuing to go for a while now, but it's going very well. I'm really enjoying my studies here. Acting is also still going when I have time, whether that's, doing self-tape auditions from the apartment, or if someone asks me to do, a feature on a short film or a feature film or a guest spot on some sort of TV series, like, I'll be able to make time. And, I was so fortunate, like, to have that. You mentioned the Disney show that I was, oh my gosh, so blessed to be a part of when I was in high school for a few years. They really worked around my schedule, which is just so unheard in Hollywood. It's either, you're there, you're fired. And they were so willing to work with my baseball schedule, which was just crazy. So acting is still going. Definitely the online health and wellness business is going super strong. That'll be going on for my entire life. I'm so passionate about that. And investing is still going on. The pizza plant is going well. I have some other ventures I'm slowly investing some other money into, and time and effort. And it's beautiful. It's pretty cool to still have my toe in the water in many different ventures. And it really just comes down to communication. A lot of people ask me, like, how do you do that? It's probably the number one question I get asked all the time in interviews and things like that. And it really just comes down to being a good communicator, being good at time management. Those two things are huge for me. So when you stay ahead of the curve and you can really, figure out whatever methodology, whatever ways for you to do that is right. It's obviously definitely relative. Some people make schedules on paper or online and stuff like that. But I think that's a solid list. Probably overwhelmed their audience here, but that's what I got going on right now.
No, it's beautiful. It's like being in the speedball. It's lovely. It's awesome. No, I mean, to us, managing your time, which you said, I mean, that's actually a very, very, it's a rare skill because it's not actually really taught. So,
right.
And a lot of people struggle that their entire life. So the fact is you have been able to enjoy and actually having a lot of fun. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You're having a blast.
So true. That couldn't be more true. I'm so happy doing everything I'm doing. Yes.
Well, that's awesome. And sort of we've gone through what you've been doing. So now we get to move to where I'm going to ask you to be my precious Genie. So are you ready, oh wise one?
Oh boy. Yes, I'm ready.
See, don't underestimate people on age because they're still wise. So there we go.
Oh boy. All right. I'm ready.
Here we go. You're ready. You're ready. I can feel it. So number one, what is the best advice you have received in your life so far?
Wow. That is a fantastic question. Man. I really think the best piece of advice that I've been given is from my parents, and it's don't let anyone tell you no. Don't let anyone tell you no. When you love something, honestly, just go for it. There, you have nothing to lose. Life is too short to get caught up in what other people think. And I think that once you truly understand that, once you truly understand, you are in control of your life, do what you want to do, it unlocks so much self-confidence, especially for me the past few months. Actually, it's so funny that this is all coming up. It's very synergistic. Like, it's very relative to my life right now, and I just feel so passionate about that. So if anyone hopefully can hear me when I say, own your voice and go for it, I hope you do. So yeah,
you're so right, because there's so many people who are in their own prison because they rely on other people's thoughts. They also are scared of rejection. They're scared of the word no. So there we are. Round of applause.
Sorry, I've got my classic college apartment. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I take that applause as for me.
There you go.
No, I mean, to be honest, that's actually a really, really spot on advice, and very relevant to what we're doing. So I love that.
Thank you.
So my second wish. What advice would you give your younger self? Now, given that you are so beautifully young, this shouldn't be a particularly hard one. For me, it's like way back in the midst of time. So tell us what would be advice you give your younger self?
Oof. Advice to my younger self. Oh, it's so difficult. I think the most important thing would be trust the process. I think that's a good phrase to encompass everything that I would probably tell myself, because I'll tell you what, the recruiting process for baseball, athletics in general, is very stressful. And I went through a roller coaster ride of sort of, bizarre sort of change of events constantly of, hey, you might go here. Hey, you might go here. Oh, wait. Hey, you might, and it was constantly, the tides were shifting. And I really was caught up, I think, sometimes in the moment of I don't need what I don't have a plan. Like, what am I going to do? And I think, there's some sort of comfort in knowing that whatever path you end up going down is truly the right one. I think, that's definitely what I would tell myself is just trust it. It's all going to work out in the end. So, yeah.
I think you're right, because people can feel very powerless when they just get swept along. And you kind of wonder, like, where is this crazy ride going? So, and I can see that, the sports arena is, and especially to make it to where you have on the baseball, is there's a lot of people who don't make it that far. So yeah, trusting the process and keeping your head, because there must have been times where you thought, dang it, this is not.
Several times. I mean, but you know what, when you get through one of those times, kind of like we talked about earlier, like the small wins, if you get through one of those times, anytime you have that thought, that anxious thought, that, whatever it is in the future, you can draw on that and say, hey, I crushed that last time. I dominated that last time. Why can't I do it again? Of course I can. It's that mindset. So 100%, you nailed it.
No, I love it. And if you're not feeling energized now, then you're not living. So check your pulse, ladies and gentlemen. So the third wish, which we've kind of touched upon, and you can please, if this goes back to the other things which you've talked about, is there one specific habit which you attribute to your success?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, because I think I have a lot of different routines that sort of maybe fall under the same category. So I think what I'll say for that is, I would say meditation or mindfulness, whatever you'd like to call it, maybe for you, whoever's watching this right now. I think for me, it's really been the ability to slowly get more in touch with my mind, body, soul connection, and spirit, whatever you want to sort of call it. I think that once you're able to truly have a little bit more awareness within your mind, recognizing when you have anxious thoughts, recognizing that you can overcome that, and it's a choice. It's an exercise that you have to practice every day. It's a thing you have to fully dive into, right? It can't just be like anything, like exercising, right? Like losing weight, like anything. You can't just do it a few times a week. You can't just do it a few times a month. Like this has to be a daily practice. And so for me, that has been so huge, because in anything I'm involved in, whether it's on the baseball field, whether it's writing a song, whether I'm in a studio session and I'm pressed for time, whether it's I have to do it on this take on the in the acting world, like whatever it is, if you can just slow it down, take a breath, take a step back for a second, breathe, and realize it's all right. I'm trusting my preparation. Let's do this. Like once I was able to start doing that more consistently, my entire world changed. And so hopefully that's something that all y'all out there can start doing too, and hopefully it'll help your life. I'm sure.
I think you're right, because you're in a state of flow if you're not thinking of what's been going on or what's coming. So especially if you're under pressure for time or anything. So your best creativity, I think, comes when you're in that and it must be the same for baseball. When you stood up there on the plate and you do your breathing, and then you're in the flow.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, we had a scrimmage today, and I there was a moment in the game where I was playing a position. I'd come in, I was the first to lead off the next inning, and you really have to get that heart rate down. You got to do some deep breathing, get your timing down off the pitcher, get the sign from coach, take a moment, then you step in and you're ready to go. But it's such a process of, okay, let's get in our state, let's get in our controlled state. All right, let's go freaking dominate. So it's definitely a process like that for sure.
Love it. That very powerful on all three wishes. Now this is sneaky. Now you don't have to answer this one. This is going to be my third and a half wish. You ready?
Okay.
How do you keep that hair so silky?
Oh my gosh. To be honest, it's this special, I don't even know. My mom turned me on to it. It's like a coconut oil, like gel cream thing. It's called Cantu. Plug in them. I'm not an ambassador for them, but if you want to go check it out.
No, that's I just couldn't resist it, my friend.
I love it.
Moving on from that, I bet that's not a question you get asked very much.
Actually, you'd be surprised.
And what would you say is one of your heroes? And this can be live or dead, fictional or non-fictional. What would you say is one of your heroes?
Man, I can't say anyone but my family. Every single person in my family they're my heroes. My mom has really taught me everything about mindfulness, everything I've talked about relative to that. That's the biggest thing from her. Her heart is so big. My dad has taught me so much kindness. Like you have no idea. Like he's, throwing batting practice to me whenever I want, taking reps on the field. Like that guy's been on every baseball trip with me in the world, like crazy. And my sister, Spencer, she is my best friend, my best friend in the entire world. And so I'm so grateful to have her by my side, and it's awesome. It's truly special to have such an incredible sister. So honestly, like every single one of my family members, and it's even more than that. I know we're pressed on time, but each one of them has contributed so much to who I am as a person. Their support for what I'm doing in the world is everything. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. If I just had to be on a stranded island and I could only bring a few things, I probably wouldn't bring anything except for them, to be honest. So I'll leave it at that.
No, to be honest, I know you have a very, very tight-knit family, and there's a lot of love there and compassion, which sometimes feels like it's in short supply. But what you just said there and how you describe it, I think is beautiful, to be honest.
Thank you.
A lot of great feelings. So we're not slick marketing stuff. this is 100% pure Tyler. Love it. Love it. What a great set of heroes. And I know that they think the same of you. So it's all really nice. What I wonder if you could, if there's any books. I assume you're a big reader. So is there any one book you could recommend for the audience?
Absolutely. I'll name a few, and you can't see it, but my little my night table, where is it? Somewhere over there. I only brought a few books with me because I knew I'd want to reread them and focus on them tremendously. Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins. Oh, money. Such a great book. The Untethered Soul, I'm just getting into, haven't read the full thing yet, but I can't wait to read it fully. And then another one that's fantastic, if you haven't read it, is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Another fantastic personal development coach. And I guess personal development for me has sort of been tied to meditation in the mindfulness world. And so been brought up on that my whole life. And so it's something that I'm so passionate about. And I think that really informs my whole life because it's really applicable to, when you're able to grow yourself, it helps everything. You got to start with yourself before you can help serving others. You got to serve yourself first. And then the magnitude of what you can do for others is pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. And I can see from what we've talked about that actually that is entirely true. And I also know you've done some mentoring as well. So
yes, it's sort of here and there in a lot of different ventures, which has been really cool. I've done a lot of stuff for young athletes, which has been fantastic, super aligned, especially baseball players. But I'm actually working right now with a few other guys on the Oregon baseball team. We work with a group called Team Impact. It's such a fantastic, oh my gosh, group of people that have an amazing thing going. Basically, they have kids that are going through life-threatening illnesses basically team up. It's a collegiate thing sort of around the country. Certain colleges do it. And they'll have a thing where they kind of get recruited for one athletic team. And they actually come onto the team and they're at practice and at games and what have you. And it's a beautiful thing to bring into someone's life that, for a lot of people, the early half of their childhood, they really didn't have it. And for me to be on this committee that's sort of running it or helping this one kid, his name is Kai. We're actually about to meet him over Zoom in a couple of weeks. I'm so excited. It's remarkable. It's so special. I think I haven't even told in my story when I was younger, and I know he'll be able to connect and hopefully find some strength and courage, because he just finished up his chemo and he's ready to rock and roll. And I'm just like, listen, man, if you want to get some, you can get some. Look at me, man. Like, I'm like you, it'll be really cool. So, yeah, that's sort of the mentoring that I've been doing. I'm pumped to do this Team Impact thing. It's going to be pretty cool.
That's awesome. And, you know, from firsthand experience that when you go through something like that, all your world, everything you know disappears. So to actually have someone help you rekindle what your passions, your interests are, that's a huge gift. There is no monetary value on that. So I'm humbled and honored that you shared that with us. But I know you also gone bigger with another organization, which is very well known. If you'd like to quickly share a little bit about that.
Make-A-Wish.
That's the one.
Okay, absolutely, yes. Oh man, that one's so close to my heart. I was actually granted a wish when I was younger that my parents ended up not taking, because a lot of the people that ended up, going through the Make-A-Wish program didn't have a ton of success with fighting their illness. And anyway, super, super passionate about Make-A-Wish though. And so when I was, I think it was my 11th birthday, I sort of gave up my birthday and did I didn't want a party. I really wanted a huge fundraiser, and I wanted to do as much as I possibly could to raise funds for the branch in Los Angeles and sort of in the SoCal area. And it was so cool to bring so many people together that just got it. They just understood this kid, understands philanthropy. This organization is incredible. Let's do something together and make something beautiful out of it. And so I think it was on the news for a little bit too, like this birthday party turned fundraiser thing. I don't even know, but it's such a fantastic organization, and I've been heavily involved here, and they're doing a lot of fundraisers and concerts that is sort of were benefit concerts for Make-A-Wish, and so yeah, fantastic organization.
To be honest, is there anything this man doesn't do? At some point he does in his life, but I don't know when. So where can people get hold of you? Where do you hang out?
Ooh, let's see. To be honest, right now I'm inactive on all my social media platforms. So right now for the next, I don't know, probably few weeks, maybe months, might be tough, but I'll get back on soon. Let's see. Instagram is definitely my main hub where you can find a lot of everyththing, to be honest. And it's just tyler.ganus. And then let's see, what else? I'm honestly not on social media a whole ton. I don't know.
Because you don't have time, for goodness sake.
Honestly, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But also LinkedIn is just my regular name, Tyler Ganus. And yeah, that's honestly, I would say those two are probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. But yeah, my messages, private messages are always open. I'm always up for conversations and meeting like-minded people. So feel free to reach out if you guys want to have any sort of conversation. I'm so down.
Perfect, easy. Going to try and sum up a bit now. So what I would say is meeting you, and it's been half an hour-ish, has been like an espresso shot, and it's full of purpose. It's you don't want to have two because that is just be overload, but amazing. And if you want to help and support Tyler on everything what he's doing, if something has caught your imagination, inspired you, then please reach out, show this great guy the love, because I know that it will certainly be reciprocated. So I'd like to thank Tyler for making room in his ridiculously busy schedule to float in as today's Genie. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I gotta just say, I'm so honored, honestly, Paul. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I love these conversations always, and just so grateful for what you're doing in the world. It's so special to meet you. So thank you.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. I'm going to throw that back at you as well, because I refuse to blush. So. So look, ladies and gentlemen, look, I hope you've had a good fun and enjoyed this. Please watch it back, take notes. There's so many really good takeaways there to help you through whatever your challenge you're facing. If Tyler can do it, you can do it. So I'll leave you with that message. I'll see you next time. Thank you once again, Tyler. You've been great.
Thank you. See you guys.
See you on the next one, guys.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to yet another episode of the Release the Genie podcast with host Paul Rogers. Be sure to follow Paul on the LinkedIn platform and learn more of Paul's resources at www.takeactionacademy.ca. And until next time, as always, be mindful and be sure to release your Genie. Thanks for listening.